Scorpio, my lovelies, hello, how are you? Thanks for being here. Hope you're well. I'm going to pull some cards for you. I'm not using any particular spread, I'm just going to pull some cards to try and get an initial outline of your situation in a sort of surface energies type of way. And then I'll find some useful questions to ask, so hopefully help you. That's the idea. It's collective reading, okay? Take what resonates, leave the rest. Use your own intuition to guide you. Don't make decisions based on the cards directly. It's all about prompting your thought processes, prompting your own instincts, offering you different perspectives on a situation. Up to you whether you take it or not. Five of Cups. Sense of sadness, a sense of loss. A change in heart. Literally, 5 is a card of change. Cups represent our emotions. This is a change of emotions. I don't know if it's yours or someone else's at this stage, but it's painful. Oh, and a Tower. Okay. It's internal. It's you. It's your energy. I mean, always reverse energies as it applies, but I don't know if we've got some cross watchers watching, Scorpio. I don't know. It just feels like we might have some cross watchers watching here. Always reverse energies as it applies, but this feels internal to you. The way the Tower has come out in reverse, that's always about internal change. It feels like quite dramatic change. It feels like quite a dramatic change in feelings. That's interesting. Oh, and it was in a it's in a Two of Cups situation. I'm sorry, my loves. I'm sorry, my loves. I feel your sadness. I feel your pain. I mean, you can see him in the Five of Cups. He's turned his back on the Two of Cups. It's like there's been some serious internal realizations whereby you've turned your back on a Two of Cups. A Two of Cups being a simple, pure soul bond love. Let's put it like that. And when I talk about soul bonds, I'm not talking about soulmate, you know, okay, no, you can still call it soulmates, but I'm not talking about forever, together forever stuff. I'm just talking about you meeting another person at a soul level. Okay? But it's like you've had a change of heart. Something internally has gone on with you. We'll see. We'll get underneath that Five of Cups. We'll get underneath it. Anything else just for the outline of the situation, the surface energies, please, for Scorpio? What else about the surface energies? Let's see what else we've got for you, my loves. The Hanged Man sort of came out on top of a Ten of Swords. Oh, gosh. Okay. So I feel like this isn't actually over at the moment with the Ten of Swords in reverse. But it's in that space where it feels like an ending's inevitable. It's like this is a kind of things being in suspension. It's almost like the ending is suspended. Bringing about the ending, there's some sort of suspension to that activity, that action of bringing about the ending. It feels like a very uncomfortable place for you to be, Scorpio. Feels like a very uncomfortable place for you to be. Oh, I'm getting some fun readings at the moment. But hey, this is life, you know. All of the cards, all of the tarot cards are in the deck of life. There's no getting away from it. We can't just remove Ten of Swords from the deck of life. And we shouldn't. We shouldn't. Any more than we should remove the Two of Cups from the deck of life. So we've got a situation where An ending feels inevitable due to a change of feelings, due to someone undergoing some sort of internal transformation that feels quite radical, that has led to a change in feelings. Yours or someone else's feels like yours. Let's get underneath this tower. Tell me more about this tower. What's the nature of Scorpio's transformation? We've got a Six of Swords, the Emperor, could be connecting with an Aries or have Aries in your chart, but that's kind of by the by. I feel that I am looking at a Scorpio who is becoming more in touch with their own, I want to say body, their own feelings and the way they present in their body. Because the Six of Swords talks about a certain storminess that you choose to transition away from. And this reading is all about transition. But you are just right in it at the moment. You're right in the difficult bit. It's like you're not. So this doesn't all have to apply to a romantic relationship, but just to make the energies easier to translate, let's say it applies to a romantic relationship. It could be ending a job or something like that. It's like you're not in that space of still being with this person. You're not in that space of having separated from that person. You're in this in-between space, this space of transition. That's the best way I can describe it. Anyway, the Six of Swords, moving away from stormy waters. This internal radical transformation that I believe you are experiencing currently, the nature of that is around you recognising your own feelings in your body, you recognising a feeling of frustration, noticing whereabouts in your body that feeling resides, honouring that feeling, not casting it aside, not belittling it, not burying it, honouring it and recognising how that feeling of frustration connects to the storminess in your situation, and therefore being able to see that storminess for what it is, and therefore being able to walk away from that storminess with a sense of strength, with a sense of purpose, with a sense of stability. Sometimes when I see the boat taking off in the Six of Swords, I'm looking at that Six of Swords boat and I'm like, you don't know where you're driving that to. You don't know where you're driving that boat to. You don't know which direction you're going in to find calmer waters. With you, it's like the Emperor's driving that boat, Scorpio. So the person driving that boat, they know. It's almost like you know in your body what that feeling of calm feels like. And you know where to go. You know which way to drive that boat to experience that sense of calm. I hope that makes sense. This is the sort of transformation that I feel you're undergoing, my loves. And that's a big fucking deal. It really is. That's you doing the work, and because it's helping you see situations for what they actually are and helping recognise your own reactions to those situations. And you're the only person who's you, Scorpio. You have to honour those reactions within yourself. You have to. You can't look outside to find out how you're feeling. You can't do that. And you're recognising that. I'm seeing a Scorpio that's recognising that, and it's kind of bloody beautiful, if I'm honest. Now, whether that means you're stepping away from this relationship completely, how this manifests in the real world, I don't know. I'm not sensing that necessarily, because all that can apply within a relationship, and it can be about recognizing your own needs within a relationship. But take it as it applies. We do have a Ten of Swords and a Hangman, and I have already said about being in that transition space. But that transition space could really, that in between, doesn't necessarily have to apply to being in a relationship and being on your own. It can be the in-between space, the transitional space of learning to honour your own needs within a relationship. And it can be that type of transition that is happening within a relationship. It could apply equally in that sense. It could, for some of you. That's for some of you. Shall we find out more about this Five of Cups reverse? That was the first card out. I do feel like you are feeling your own sadness. You know, you are really sitting with that feeling of feeling your own sadness at what you're leaving behind. Strength. This is you having the strength to feel your own feelings. Way to go, Scorpio. Wheel of Fortune. I do feel this is you recognising the contradictions in your own feelings as well. Everything feels quite tangled up here. Everything feels very connected. Sometimes your feelings get tangled. It feels like some emotions are very close in terms of the feeling we get in our body. Fear and excitement comes to mind. Fear and excitement are very tangled emotions. I'm also feeling that I realise this is a pretty far out take on the Wheel of Fortune. Sorry, I do that. There's a sense of just your emotions being very tied up to somebody else's emotions here, and that tangling of emotions between you and another person. And that's why I think you've turned away from this Two of Cups. We'll get underneath that Two of Cups. It's a surface energy. I don't know what's in underneath it. It feels so sad to leave it behind. But your emotions are so tangled. I'm not blaming you, I'm not blaming the other person, but it feels like you're both very sensitive to each other's emotions. That could be what some of you are walking away from in this Six of Cups, this emotional entanglement. Not necessarily walking away from the relationship altogether, but walking away from this emotional entanglement, recognising this emotional entanglement, recognising how you feed off each other's emotions, and perhaps somehow stepping into a more independent energy within this Two of Cups. I don't know. We're going to have to get underneath it. I keep flip-flopping. I'm noticing I'm doing this. I keep flip-flopping. I think there's two different groups of Scorpios watching this reading, because sometimes it feels so, and this is the nature of collective readings, and I often find myself apologising for it, and it's a bit silly really, because this is just the way collective readings are. They don't always make a coherent story. For some of you, I do feel you are walking away from this relationship entirely. For some of you, it feels more like you're walking away from a sense of emotional entanglement within this relationship, which you recognise as not being all that healthy. It feels like kind of like codependence. It feels like it probably works both ways, but let's just take the example like this. You have a connection with this person, and if they are in a bad mood, that bad mood really has a very serious impact on you. And that's empathy to a certain extent. But it's about you learning to keep a healthy distance from that and know where you end and another person starts, and know that your emotions are yours to experience and their emotions are theirs to experience. That's how it's coming through. So when this figure here is turning his back on the Two of Cups, in a sense, for some of you, I feel like the Two of Cups feels like a sort of emotional entanglement, which would more be a sort of reverse Two of Cups energy, but anyway, yeah. Let's get under this Two of Cups then, speaking of it. Let's go under this Two of Cups for Scorpio. Tell me more about this Two of Cups for Scorpio, please. Father of Pentacles reversed. A lack of grounding. Ace of Cups reversed. What once was a simple, beautiful exchange of love I don't know, it's run into problems, let's put it like that. Part of it is to do with that lack of grounding and that entanglement of emotions, because we've got a Father of Pentacles and it's come out in reverse. I'll show you it upright. You know, I like to show you the cards. You know, take directly from the cards whatever speaks to you. By the way, this isn't just about what I bang on about. This feels like ungrounded. Feels ungrounded. And that's what can help you with that entanglement of emotions, is a groundedness within yourself, and that's lacking. And that's what you're turning your back on, this lack of groundedness. And you're recognising it. You're recognising it. You're doing the work, Scorpio. It's beautiful to see. But I suppose a lot of you are probably sat here wondering, well, what's the future of this connection? Right? I understand, right? That's what a lot of people turn to tarot readings for that. There's a reason I started this channel, right? You think I've not found myself in that position? Really? You think I've not found myself in that position? It's not, Tarot's not going to give you all the answers. You're going to give yourself all the answers. Maybe based off some very helpful tarot readings if you can find them. They're not always easy to find. I'm loath to say it, but I do think there's a lot of encouragement of unhealthy dynamics within these readings, and I really, really try to stay away from that. And if you ever think I'm not staying away from that, I really want to be called out on it. I really do. Another reversed king. That now feels like ungrounded passion to me. Yeah. Which can feel so beautiful in the moment, but when you come back to earth, it's like, what am I left with? What here is tangible that I'm left with? I don't know. Anyway, also underneath the Two of Cups we have a reversed Ace of Cups. It is like I said, I think for a lot of you, it doesn't flow like it used to. It doesn't flow like it used to. It's like one person... Gosh, this feels a bit like love bombing. It's like one person has just thrown their cup of love at you. Thrown it. Emptied it all over you. Or the other way around, I don't know. That's how ungrounded it feels. It's like I'm pouring this entire cup of love on you whether you like it or not. I don't know. I don't know. It's some sort of unbridled vomit of emotions that another person just can't take. They just can't take it. And it could be because they're a very sensitive person and they're a very empathetic person and they haven't learnt to ground themselves. There could be some aspects of that here. There could be. I don't know. I don't know. Why can't one person receive the cup of love, the world, in reverse? Too many cards. Too many cards. Tell me more about this Ace of Cups. Tell me more about this Ace of Cups. It's to do with perfection. Ha! Ha! You pouring your entire cup on this person, your entire imperfect cup on this person, has revealed to this person that the pedestal they put you on, it was not correct for them to place it on you. Is it ever correct? No. This person is seeing your imperfections. And I'm not entirely sure that the version of you that they've created in your head matches up with the reality of you sharing so openly your cups, your flow of emotions. Your flow of emotions is driven by love, but it contains imperfections, because we are all imperfect. And somehow they are not dealing with seeing that into you, and that's creating a storminess. And that's the storminess that you are learning to feel in your body. And you are learning to recognise what's at the root of that stormy feeling. And to identify the underlying need. And whether that need is being met. And whether you can have a discussion about that need being met. And whether you can work it all out. But I don't feel like they're seeing you. The star comes out upright when someone is being seen in all their glorious ugliness. Their glorious ugliness. You want to be seen in all your glorious ugliness. I might call it that. Because you accept your ugliness. But they just see you as someone beautiful. And it's like your flaws. I don't know. I feel like there's not an acceptance of your flaws, somehow. And you so want to be seen and appreciated and accepted. Who doesn't? But you are realising that that lack of acceptance, you're realising the feeling that creates in you. And I think you're quite accepting of yourself, though, Scorpio. So you don't need this other person to accept you. You don't. You accept yourself, and that is enough. Obviously, the Two of Cups is beautiful and is in its full potential when that acceptance from another person is there. But if it's not there, you can find it within yourself. And I think you're starting to recognise that, Scorpio. Right, let's find out more about this connection then, the state of suspension that this connection is in. Can we find out any more about the state of suspension that this connection is in for Scorpio, please? It's painful. It's painful. Of course it's painful, my loves. I know. I know. And yes, there is some resistance to killing this so that the way can be cleared. Yes, I see that resistance. I see it. And that's adding to the state of suspension. It's like you're in that moment right before you're about to pull the plaster off. And I do think you want to pull it off, rip it off. We're not going to fanny about just doing it bit by bit. You want to rip it off. But you're right, this energy here is you right before you're going to go for it. And it's that sense of trepidation. What else came out before I blab on? A reverse sun. And strength again. Strength again. You have the strength to face the pain. You know it's going to be painful, but you have the strength to face the pain. Because ultimately, you know what the long-term outcome's going to be of facing the pain. Yes, it's in reverse. It's an incoming energy, that's why it's in reverse here. You have the strength to face the reality of how this is too entangled, too codependent. You have the strength to face the heartbreak. You have the strength to face the pain. I see it in you. I see it for you. And I'm glad to see it. I hate it when I can feel that Three of Swords energy and it won't come out the deck. Because I know it's there. I know it's there, buried, 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 and someone's not facing it. But you are a Scorpio who's facing it, and I commend you. Where do we go from here, Scorpio? What else might be useful for me to look at for you? Maybe we've covered everything. It might not be the pain of bringing about an ending completely. It might be the pain of talking about what needs to be dealt with if the other energy is on board with this. Shall we explore that? How on board this other energy would be with looking at this entanglement of emotions. I don't feel I've seen loads of their energy, unless I forgot what I said in my own reading. I don't feel like I have, which I like, because I like to concentrate on you, the viewer. I don't like going digging about in other people's energy loads. I don't think it's entirely helpful. I think often it can be done in an unhealthy way, and it's something I want to steer clear from. Clear from doing it in an unhealthy way. But we'll have a quick look. Tell me more about the energy that Scorpio's interacting with, please. Tell me more about the energy that Scorpio's interacting with, please. This came out first. A Knight of Pentacles. I find that quite reassuring. But it is asking a question of you. The question it's being asked of you is, how diligent, how consistent is this person? Because they obviously show signs of it. They obviously show signs of being able to work on this. But is it consistent? Is it? I want you to answer that question. Let's see what else has come up before I say too much. A Nine of Wands reversed, defensiveness on their part. Eight of Wands reversed, a lack of communication on their part. Four of Cups, and apathy on their part. I'm feeling defensiveness, I'm feeling lack of communication, and I'm feeling a certain apathy. I had a feeling those cards were not going to give you the answers that you'd love to hear, but I know they're not always in this energy. I know they're not always in this energy for you. Sometimes their defences come down. Sometimes, with this Four of Cups, they rediscover their emotionality towards you. Sometimes their communication, well, I think sometimes it kind of spills out because it's been bottled up so long. But it's sometimes. How consistent is it? Is it a level of consistency that you can work with? Think right back to what I said about knowing your own body, knowing when you're feeling that sense of frustration, knowing when you're feeling that sense of calm. Being able to stay regulated in your own body. A lack of consistency is a massive driver for not being able to stay regulated in your own body. Massive. It's massive. Knight of Pentacles, sorry. He's not sexy, is he? It's not a sexy energy. It's doing your fucking washing up every single day. It's that type of energy. But I'm sorry, it is the type of energy that is needed for the Scorpio I'm looking at to feel regulated, to feel safe. I mean, it's asking questions of how much consistency you're bringing. It is as well. But we were specifically looking at the energy of this other person, and it's for you to answer. I'm not sure they're being all that consistent. And I know you feel their pain, Scorpio, with this Nine of Wands, because you're incredibly empathetic. You know, this is a card of past wounding. You know all about this energy. You know how past wounding affects communication, the flow of emotion. You know, and I think you see their pain and you see their wounding, and I know you want to help them with it. I know, I can see it. I know you want to help them with it, Scorpio. You need to think about your boundaries. You can't do the work of another person, my loves. If they can't bring this consistency to the table, you need to have some sort of faith in them that they're doing the work. I'm not seeing it here. I'm seeing the possibility of it here, but you have to ask how real this is. What actual actions are they taking that shows that they are in this energy of being able to be consistent? Because you deserve that. You don't deserve to not know when you're setting sail if it's going to be calm or stormy, okay? Because if you don't know, you need to turn around into a direction whereby you do know. And I do see a Scorpio that's aware of all these issues. And I do commend you, because you are not shying away from the pain. You have the strength to face the pain, and ultimately, you will find a sense of harmony and balance again. It's about recognising your own light as well. It's about recognising your own light and your own control over this direction that this boat goes in. I'm going to leave it there for you. I do hope that makes sense, my loves. Let me know in the comments. I always appreciate feedback. If the reading resonated with you, please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. It does help me pick up on your energy for next time and all that. Alright, Scorpio, my loves. I'll see you next time. Bye.